Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Last time we did our first chapter in The Phantom Menace, Negotiations. It is now time for Chapter 2, once I've saved the game. I forgot about that. Alright. And with that awkward opening, why does it cut to black? Just stay on the star screen. In the first two games, it didn't keep saying Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It would immediately say Chapter 2 if you continued the story. But anyway, Chapter 2, Invasion of Naboo. The Trade Federation has launched a full-scale attack on the peaceful world of Naboo. Hiding aboard the landing craft, Qui-Gon, Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi have secretly hitched a ride with the invasion force. Now they must make contact with local forces before it is too late. I get it. It's an unintentional force joke. I make myself laugh. Alright, but anyway. I guess what character we're introduced to in this level? Well, I already said it at the end of part 1. I hope you are looking forward to this. I can't do the impression for the life of me. I can't do an impression for any character in Star Wars. I think I wouldn't be surprised if like my best Star Wars impression was just R2-D2 scream, and I don't think that'd be very good either. It's like, wow! I can't even do that properly because I'm trying not to like deafen everybody. But you do get to hear it every time R2 dies in this game. Sorry, he's made a Lego. He'll immediately fix himself. Right, this part's kind of annoying because you constantly have like all of the battle droids jumping out. Sometimes they'll stop and attack you, other times they don't. It's up to them, really. These plants are a lot more detailed in this game, and a lot more colourful. This bit is actually pretty brown in the original game. You do come across like bits of debris and like artifacts and stuff in the ground when you pick up the plants. They mean absolutely nothing. They are just there. There's no purpose to them. Right, and the music for this level, every now and then you can hear Duel of the Fates. Like, Lego Star Wars, well, just like every Lego game really, uses licensed music. Which is why I can't exactly play it out loud. You know, it's heavily copyrighted. And it's such a shame because I love these soundtracks. I love Star Wars music. I mean, it's John Williams. The man can do no wrong. And I can hear people doing it. I mean, nobody watches this channel, but I can hear it. Made music for the Last Jedi. Excuse me, what part of the Last Jedi's music wasn't good? It's Star Wars. It's John Williams. Although I can't help but compare the Superman theme to Star Wars. It's like when I first heard the Superman theme, and it was at the end of a Superman related video on YouTube. Superman 64 to be precise. And like literally, when I heard the music for the first time and I just heard it go, I was like, why is this playing Star Wars music at the end of this? Because that was before I really had any interest in superheroes that weren't the Incredibles. Or the X-Men. I know. But I think John Williams does tend to do that in quite a few of his musical pieces. One attention to detail I do like, they've been doing this since LEGO Star Wars 1. The little aura that appears around things you can use the Force on is different. It's the same as whatever color lightsaber the character is holding. So if they have a green lightsaber like Qui-Gon, the glow is green. If it's a blue lightsaber, like with Obi-Wan here, it'll be blue. If it's a purple lightsaber, because you've either got the Power Ball or Mace Windu, or if you get like the double power lightsabers where for some reason they're all purple, then it will glow purple. Now, you don't want to stand too close to this, the explosion will hurt you. And it does enough damage to pretty much kill you in one hit. Death doesn't really mean anything in this game. It pretty much just causes you to lose some studs. I believe it's 2,000. In fact, if I just pause the game and go to extra, yeah, we don't want that on. Adaptive difficulty, I think it depends on how many studs you've collected. If you've collected a lot of studs and you die, you lose 4,000. If you haven't collected many, you lose 2,000. I think by having it off, you just lose 2,000 every time. And oh no. It's him! It's Jar Jar Binks! Why is he white? I thought he was like a reddish colour. He's like a reddish white, I guess. It's kind of like red on the back, white on the bottom. You know what? I don't care if that question sounds wrong. You seen the Star Wars community? Oh, I have plenty to say. I mean, I've already said it. I've got like an hour-and-a-half ranting video about why The Last Jedi's criticism makes no sense whatsoever. Where it's either because, you know, breathing in space since 1977, that's been shown in almost every film. Whether it's characters being killed off with no backstory, the villains mainly, you know, what's so different about Snoke compared to everyone else? Not a goddamn thing. In fact, he has a name, which is already one step above the Emperor. He didn't have a name, and he was killed off with no backstory. Prequels don't count because they wouldn't be a thing for many years. Why can I use the Force? Yeah, you can form Jedi mind tricks. That was introduced in LEGO Star Wars 2. Yeah, LEGO Star Wars 1 is kind of basic in terms of structure. That's the thing. You might, once you've played LEGO Star Wars 2, you kind of don't want to go back to 1, which is why I say this right here, this is the definitive version. This is the one you want to play. The only reason you would ever want to play LEGO Star Wars 1 is to either see where the series got started, which, you know, there's so many LEGO things it doesn't start with Star Wars. I think the licensed properties might start with Star Wars, but other than that, you know, there are plenty of things before it. Or it's because you like the idea of having a different hub world. Yeah, look, even this thing is Jar Jar Binks. So we're making our way to the Gungan city, as you would expect. Last I checked in the movie, we rescued Jar Jar before. Wait, we rescued Jar Jar after getting away from all of the droid forces. This is one thing I never understood. Why did Darth Sidious order the shutdown of all the droid forces? It's just a bigger army. Why would you not want a bigger army? Come on, Jar Jar. Jar Jar has no method of attack, but he has like a really high double jump. His normal jump is a normal jump, but his double jump is really high. The thing is, though, there were no high jumping characters in LEGO Star Wars 1. There were no high jumping characters in LEGO Star Wars 1. So when you play in LEGO Star Wars 2, sorry. In LEGO Star Wars 2's levels, the original trilogy, then the double jump is nerfed. Like, they barely go anywhere. Right, now this is something that was... Only bounty hunters can access these areas. For some reason, it's got a picture of Boba Fett, who at this point doesn't even exist yet. So how that works, I don't know. Same applies to that droid panel in level 1. That had 3PO on it instead of TC-14. That's a new change, because in LEGO Star Wars 1, they were always TC-14. R4P17 had her own thing, but not C-3PO for some reason. I cannot reach that even with Jar Jar. What the hell? It's another mini kit that I don't care about. Now, dare I try and get close? There we go. You don't have to touch it. You just got to get close to it. Right, now this game is multiplayer. It's up to 2 players, and again, that's generally how they want you to play it. It doesn't really... you know, it's fun. That's how I first played it. Again, like Rise of the Underminer, I played it with my cousin. That was LEGO Star Wars 1 they had. I got LEGO Star Wars 2 first. Never played that in multiplayer. And, you know, several years later I decided, you know, I want this game. Bizarrely, when I got the game, it was actually the one I wanted to play most. But I think Super Mario Galaxy 2 was the one I wanted to play the most. Then it was this one. Not even Sonic Colors. Weird, I know. Just because I wanted to see what this game would be like to play. Like, what would it do different compared to LEGO Star Wars 1? Or 2? Especially what differences would... What new things... Well, not new things, but what things were added to LEGO Star Wars 1's levels that were in LEGO Star Wars 2. Actually, this is different. This thing is silver. All we had to do, we've already blown up one of these already. And that's all we had to do in LEGO Star Wars 1. Now it's silver. That also requires a bounty hunter because they all carry thermal detonators. And they're a lot bigger in this than that tiny little thing Boba Fett was holding in Return of the Jedi. And yeah, you need to blow them up using a thermal detonator. It's a good thing only I can pick those up. I actually got quite a few studs from that then, unless they add a few more studs as well. It's interesting on what changes they made. I am going the wrong way. It's over here. Come on, up you get. I must... Whoa, look at that sky. That's a very purple sky. One thing we never get to do is we never get to go through like the underwater tunnel, the underwater section in like the Gungan Bongo, which is a really weird name. I think that's what it's called anyway. We never get to see. There is not always a bigger fish in this game. We never get any of that. Unfortunately, the closest game I can think of where we get to that is Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I don't want to play Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Especially the underwater section sucks. Alright, I realise I am going to be going through many of these levels really slowly. I will try and make sure I speed up a bit. But I like to try and gather as many studs as I can. It's going to make the Super Mario Galaxy playthroughs very interesting when I always have to gather as many Starbits as I can because, you know, hungry Lumas. Yeah, those robots do keep coming in every however long it is. But I think that's everything. Ignore these guys. And then they'll keep running once you go away. They're not very smart. Right. If you go too far and the cutscene begins before the studs have reached the corner, the studs don't count. Mini kits will, but I don't think the studs do. And there's Big Boss Nass. Not voiced by Brian Blessed. I mean, you do hear him at one point make like his sound, and that's ripped right from the film. But we don't get to hear him saying much. But you know, in the case of the Gungans, I don't think that's a bad thing. Because why would we want to hear the Gungan speak? You know, I don't absolutely hate Jar Jar, but he is kind of annoying, and at the very least, they toned him down. Now, what I don't know is if it's actually true that he was supposed to be a Sith Lord. I've heard that was apparently the original idea, like he was putting it on, but that may have been like a myth or something. So I'm not entirely sure if Darth Jar Jar is such a thing. At the very least, we don't need to worry about him anymore. I'm pretty sure he'd be dead by the time of the sequel trilogy, so no, he's not going to be in Episode 9. But you know what I'm sure we can get? Jar Jar, a Star Wars story. Come on. We all know we want it. We want that. Jar Jar, a Star Wars story. Unlike Solo, everyone will go and see it. I guarantee it. Anyway, Chapter 3. Escape from Naboo. We just got here. The Gungan ruler Boss Nass has refused to help the people of Naboo. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi have left his underwater city for the royal palace in Theed, I think it's pronounced. As Trade Federation battle droids seize capital of the Naboo capital. What? As Trade Federation battle droids seize control of the Naboo capital city, Queen Amidala and Captain Panaka, her loyal protector, are powerless to repel the invasion. Boy, that is terrible reading. I never was good at reading. Well, that's why I've had Jurassic Park novel for about 3 years and I'm only halfway through it. Once I stop, I cannot start again. Ugh. Anyway, last I checked, when she looks out of the window, she's in like that red outfit. But the moment she's coming down the stairs, she's in a completely different outfit. And that is one thing I always take notice on with Queen Amidala in The Phantom Menace. She has a different outfit in like every scene she's in. Where does she keep getting these things? And what is the point given the current situation? Especially when we first see her. Like, she's in that red outfit we see her in the hologram. That same one she's wearing right now. Like, she wears that when the droids are first coming. But it's completely gone in the when she's going down the stairs, just a few seconds later, it's a completely different outfit. And that is a really, really weird thing that she does. These are not my surrender clothes. Even though she could probably blend in with the droids, all she's got to do is speak, and then she can blend in with the droids perfectly fine. Battle droids were... I never really grew up with Star Wars as a child, and my first exposure, well, technically my first exposure was actually Lego Star Wars, and a set of Top Drums. I know, weird, right? But I started watching the Clone Wars TV series, and my favourite characters were always the battle droids. I love the battle droids in the Clone Wars, and I was kind of disappointed when I listened to them in the prequels. I was like, wow, these guys really don't talk much because they're so funny. And the closest we ever get is the one that goes, it's a conversation like, we're taking these prisoners to Coruscant. Where are you taking them? To Coruscant. Coruscant, that doesn't compute, you're under arrest. I like that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Alright, let's get into this then. The Phantom Menace. I like the Phantom Menace. Like, really, when it comes to the 11 Star Wars movies we've had, including the Clone Wars movie, it's really more of a pilot to the TV show more than anything. I mean, so was Stitch the movie. I like that as well. And the only one that I don't like that much is Attack of the Clones. I even like the Clone Wars, the film. But it's not great. But you know, it's decent, it's enjoyable. But Attack of the Clones, you know, it's okay. I wouldn't call it. I definitely wouldn't call it a bad film. It's just, it's boring. That's my main issue with Attack of the Clones. It's just boring. And, you know, what's the point of watching a movie if it's boring? You know, if something's laughably bad, you know, at least you can laugh at it. You know, yeah, it's difficult. I don't normally like that. It's weird. I can watch a movie that's laughably bad, but I hate when people describe a video game as laughably bad. And I instantly know what many of you might be thinking. No, you won't actually, because you don't laugh at it. You just bash it for no real reason. You know, because it's directed by the person who directed one of the most dramatic moments in television history with Breaking Bad. And he's a terrible director, apparently, that Rian Johnson. You know, he's got an amazing track record, and he's a terrible director. I'm going to keep doing this. I don't care if I've already made a video on it. Nobody's seen it. Nobody watches this channel. I can do it all I want. My channel. I liked The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is good, and I really don't understand how a film with great acting, great music, and great cinematography is even bad just because you have writing issues. How can a film with all of those positive merits be bad? And everyone would just say this film has no positive merits. There are no actors. These characters, they're real. That seems to be the mindset. Everyone seems to act like the characters are real. That's why I feel so sorry for the actors, especially. They just don't get any credit. Like, the acting is so good in The Last Jedi and nobody cares. And anybody who does, like, say, go to like a YouTube comment section or something, anyone that does bring it up, someone will immediately then say, well, the character sucks. It doesn't matter about that. Say what you will about Luke. Mark Hamill's performance is great. But nobody cares because everyone is so worked up about Luke, who, you know, he's pretty much the mopiest character of the original trilogy is made. Oh, so slightly mopier. But nobody cares about Mark Hamill's brilliant performance because apparently Mark Hamill doesn't exist. It's just Luke. Same with like Daisy Ridley. She doesn't exist. It's just Rey. John Boyega doesn't exist. It's just Finn. I always forget Rose's actress. She doesn't exist. It's just Rose. No, these characters. It's fiction. It's in the word science fiction. But nope. We're not going to give actors credit because the characters are truly real. By the way, this isn't here in the original level. This is something else that's new that I'm not going to bother with. Actually, I may as well. This isn't going to give me a mini kit in any way. Pushing objects. Something else introduced in LEGO Star Wars 2. Now, one other thing that I've been doing so far. I am a bit confused on what I'm doing here, though. What am I doing? Da, 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 da. What am I doing? There we go. Just gotta move it to the right place. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be more to this. I probably have to use those things. Can't do anything with them. That requires a Sith Lord because it's got red glow, which is also not in the original. You can use Force count. There are Dark Force objects, but not that flower, and that requires a bounty hunter. Woo! Nearly ran into it. Anyway, where was I? Ranting about The Last Jedi. You know, I already have a whole video based on that. But, you know, there were still points I missed. Some I forgot. And, well, I've got a whole playthrough to do that with. And a whole playthrough where I get to point out more reasons on how this wasn't just in The Last Jedi. This was an issue here as well. Look, the Emperor dies with no backstory. Every character here is breathing in space. The Phantom Menace achieves nothing in terms of story. You know, they find Anakin, which I did accidentally say was Luke in the rant video. Yeah, I corrected it. You know what? Let's keep going. How come Luke can't go into exile but Yoda can? That was one I didn't bring up. Here's the real one. People say like, well, I say people, like that the whole Leia using the Force thing just looks ridiculous. Yes, in a series with the Force and lightsaber fights, you know, it's not exactly anything out of the ordinary. So why are lightsabers and Force abilities perfectly fine, but pulling herself back to the ship is not fine? It makes me really annoyed, and it's just you know, it's been almost 7 months at the time of this recording, and people just will not shut up about it. It's like, whatever you're saying now is not going to be any different 7 months later. And remember, no matter how loud you try to be, no matter how much you try and gang up, you are in the minority. I've met loads of people that really enjoy The Last Jedi. I've met people that have enjoyed Solo, that love The Force Awakens, that like, or love, I keep changing the words, but you know, they all really like all 4 films we've had so far. And let's just bring up the final one here. Disney are not ruining Star Wars due to the simple fact that they don't make Star Wars. Why? Who comes up with this idea? How did Disney make Star Wars? They own Lucasfilm. They don't make the films. You never hear anybody saying, well, they're making Marvel movies. No, they don't, because Marvel Studios makes the movies. Lucasfilm makes the movies. Pixar makes the movies. Disney owns them. They market them. They probably finance them, I imagine. I don't know. So how can Disney... Yes, they probably have certain says in these sorts of things, but they don't make the movie. They don't write it. They don't direct it. They don't film it. You know, who wrote The Last Jedi? Rian Johnson. Who directed The Last Jedi? Rian Johnson. Who filmed The Last Jedi? The person holding the camera. Who acted The Last Jedi? The actors. What does any of that have to do with Disney? How are Disney ruining Star Wars when they don't make Star Wars? It's a simple fact. It's so simple. Disney can't ruin something that they don't make, and you know it's going to continue. You know, Disney's going to ruin Alien. I mean, when was the last time Alien had a very popular movie? I don't even like the two popular ones. Or Disney's going to ruin Predator. I mean, I don't like the looks of the current Predator anyway, but that was in development before that. But that's not going to make anyone care. They're immediately going to think, oh, this movie was made by Disney and it's ruined. Even though it was made before Disney even purchased Fox. Disney's going to ruin The Simpsons. The Simpsons needs to end many years ago. I can keep going. I can keep going. I like this voice. Yeah, Squidward. Yeah, Squidward. I just suddenly realised that's who that's what I'm doing here. By the way, these are Battle Droid commanders. They take 2 hits instead of 1. Oh. For some reason, when you hit them the first time, they always go, uh-oh. I don't know why. It's just a sound they always make. You can force push the Battle Droids back, and they will just blow up after a while. It doesn't work on the commanders, though. Even if you've hit them one time, it just stuns them. So they'll become immobile for a few seconds. Right, maybe this is because I got the TV volume really low, I can't tell. But these things are like really loud in LEGO Star Wars 1. LEGO Star Wars 1 had some serious sound mixing issues. Like, certain things were incredibly loud. I don't know why, they just were, and those were among them. You know what? Let's just get a move on. This part's like 27 minutes long already. Some of these videos might be a bit lengthy when I'm doing the story run-throughs. When it comes to free play, it'll probably just end up being like 1 video per part. 1 level per part. Because they're going to take longer. And in addition to free play mode, there is a challenge mode as well. I'll be showing that off. Now, there are some extra things as well. For the most part, I will be showing them off. Whether it's like the hidden special level in LEGO Star Wars 1 that's also here. The original versions of Mos Espa Pod Race and Gunship Cavalry. They're also here. I'm wondering, should I show them off in LEGO Star Wars 1 as well? Like, show off where the mini kits and everything are. I'm not sure, because I've been using them to practice LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2. But I've already played the levels and collected the mini kits for those, so that would kind of mean having to restart the entire game again. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't. It would mean having to play up to that point in episode 1 again, then I can just immediately leave and go to episode 2, I guess. So maybe it wouldn't be too bad. By the way, this level does have an unavoidable mini kit right at the end. The level literally ends with a mini kit. So you have got to watch. Well, no, you can't watch out for it. It's unavoidable. So I will be picking that up because there's no avoiding it. Why am I avoiding it? I want that button. That opens that up. They added an animation to that. In LEGO Star Wars 1, that thing just implodes. Like, you see the bits spinning around, but like the actual casing and everything that we see there, that just implodes. Like, it's there and then it just vanishes. And it looks really weird. Like, really? You couldn't add like an explosion animation for that? And that's where we gotta go. Let's make it not there anymore. Maybe they moved it then. Maybe that's what that thing was for. Like that block pushing puzzle. I don't remember. Like I said, there are certain changes I don't have committed to memory. Oh no, it's in there now. Okay, they've relocated it. Right, well we need a bounty hunter for that. such as that one bounty hunter character that's probably the most pointless character in Star Wars, Boba Fett. You know, that hugely popular character that gets killed off with no backstory, that gets killed off when he only says 3 lines and they're not even in the film that he dies in. He doesn't say anything in Return of the Jedi. Why is Boba Fett so popular? You know, all these issues that people have with Snoke, it largely relies on backstory. The Emperor had no backstory. Darth Maul had no backstory. Count Dooku, we're told that he is a former Jedi that turned to the dark side. We're never told why he turned to the dark side. He just did. Other than that, he gets no backstory. General Grievous, he's a cyborg. Interesting. Never goes into that. He's apparently killed all of these Jedi. He's a truly pathetic fighter when he starts fighting Obi-Wan. And who else do we have? Oh yeah, Boba Fett. He's killed off with no backstory. He doesn't do anything. He just stands there. So why is it a problem with Snoke? And if it is now being realised as an issue, why is it still only an issue in The Last Jedi? And not in all of these films where it's also present? Right, we need a Sith character for that. And there is a purple stud in there. That's worth 10,000. That was something that was added there for the complete saga. This part's going to be long. Some of these videos might be a bit lengthy. It's going to be annoying for upload times, but anyway. Yeah, that was where the mini kit originally was in that hole. Let's go into that hole. We actually get to hear them say Roger, Roger when you do this. Yeah, I love these guys in the Clone Wars, especially the ones that are like aware of the Jedi, like they're saying, "Look, Jedi!" And then they start firing at them, and then there's one battle droid that is like aware that they can deflect their shots. And then when the other two get destroyed when they deflect the shots back, it's like, I knew that was a bad idea. Or there's a moment where they're like confronted by, I want to say it was Anakin or Obi-Wan, whoever it was. And they're like, come on, there's 3 of us and only 1 of him. It won't matter. Like, I love that. I think it's the only two times they really do that, but I love that. I'm an easy man to please. Alright, there is a stud total for this game though. The highest you can get is 4 billion. Once you start getting the stud multipliers, it's actually really easy to get that, but by that point you've pretty much gotten everything in the game. Unlike Lego Star Wars 3, that pretty much just keeps going. I've managed to get into the trillions of that. But anyway, this part is really long. So let's end things off there. Next time we're heading to Tatooine. And I will see you guys then.